on them haters. Threw up. Brother went to jail for them. Told me you up. First time I seen 100 bands, yeah, I grew up. Ooh, on the couches with my shoe up. And we was getting that record label money before they knew us. And we were blowing your budget in the club to boof up. If your dog fall in your ball hog and get your whole crew up. Ooh, on the right now, I got you. Right now, nothing. Need a Uber right now. Right now, need crew love right now. Cause we two up right now. Ooh, I'm up right now. Hop out, valet, walk out, all these bands I lost count, cause I'm too up right now, too up right now. I done seen the best of them, Jando. 25 to life in the can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us.
When you got dumb cake up in the say.
We find ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
58!
On play action, now Rodgers. He'll rifle this one deep right side. He's got a man, complete. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And, he's going to be hit and driven into the turf.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23.
Hey, check 26.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, Guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
That's fine. Yeah. Zoom. Green 18.
On third and long, it's Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a first down.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
So a little more space to work with here from the 13 on first and 10.
Hey. Hurry up. Here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. Anthony Hitchens coming with pressure. He drops him on the blitz for a loss of 12. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
Hurry up. Here we go.
This is Howard on second down. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. Give him 5 yards on the run there, but it'll leave him with a definite third and long on the horizon. They'll look to throw. Complete. Smith has it. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. Well, the screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be fourth down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Zoom. Gun. Check that. We're going to Mike 52 right here. Jumbo!
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Mike 6, 33. Hey, check 26. Zoom.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, 4 down. All right, here we go. 3-19. All right, now, Lucky 56.
He'll drop to throw. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Here we go now. Green 39. Hot.
They'll set up to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10.
He's crashed. 319. He's checking. He's 319.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And an alley to run. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Green 18. Yeah, Liz. Zoom. Jumbo. Green 18.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
4 down. Alert. Hey, 88.
On play action, Rodgers eluding the pressure right. And he rifles one incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And it's second down. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
And he comes back with one complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Green 18. Cut. Zoom. Green 18.
And again, it's Rodgers. Forced out to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
A give. This is Kamara. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. A great play there. His 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. Parkey with the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
4 down. Set. Green 18.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. On the crossing route, complete. That's Hamilton. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
On first down, they run with Howard. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Hey. Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
On the handoff, this is Howard. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19. 55 to Mike. Check. 55 to Mike.
A give to Howard. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
Hey, boys, we got 4. 4 down. Set. 3-19. 3-19. Leopard. Leopard. Come on.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I don't know about you, partner, but on 2nd and inches, a lot of the times I'm leery about the offensive guys thinking about taking a shot downtown. Instead, they just hand it to the big man and let him rumble forward for a first down.
Hurry up. Here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball. All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hut!
On the give, this is their fullback. And down inside the 15 he goes. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
The Cardinals into the red zone for the first time. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line.
4 down. 4 down. Check. Set. Green 39. Green 39. Black 99 Philly. Here we go. Hut!
Now a carry here for the fullback. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit, boy.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
4 down. Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Check. Motion, I got one.
They pitch out to Howard. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from the desert after this.
Tight right. Hey. Leopard. Leopard.
On is Howard. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And Bullock will put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
This fielded at the 2. Able to spin free. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15.
No. 319. Kelly. Don't left Kelly. Over.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. And now the Cardinals going to use another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
No. 319. Hey, check 26. Hey, Mike 52.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board. 3
points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
319.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Running with Howard. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. It appears he'll be a few inches short, so 9 yards on the gain officially, and it'll be 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football.
Here we go. 319.
So we've reached intermission here in a low-scoring game. 7-3 is our score. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
They go with Howard to begin the drive. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Detroit. Detroit. All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll drop to throw. Being chased out left. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
The Cardinals on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4.
Now let's go.
On play action, they'll throw. They'll roll him out right. And this is going to be incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets.
And got his man complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. They give him a gain of 37. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
No. 319. Wide right. 319.
Again, it's Kamara. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Give the tackle to Hassan Reddick. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for the moment, this will be a first down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
First down marker at the 31. It's third down. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter.
Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Tight end. Tight right. Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw here. That'll be caught right side by Hamilton. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Cardinals on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far.
Right, now,
this is 3rd and 7.
Lucky 56. Hurry up. Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Detroit. Detroit.
Win the rep. Let's go right here.
He'll look to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And out now come the Seahawks. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Let's go, hey, let's go, come on. Hurry up. Check 9.
They run it again with Kamara. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, there's simply no sense in wasting a great catch like that on a short gain. Get downfield like you just did there and use it up that way.
No dink and dunk.
That's fine.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Rodgers stepping up. He's going to keep it, and he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
On the ground, Kamara. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Hey, check 26. Hey, check 26. Inside.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
Hey, we 19.
Watch the egg.
Wide right. Jumbo. Gun.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Willie Henry in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. And Parkey's kick is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So his 2nd field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
Here comes Montgomery now, the returner. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Smith catches left side. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On the toss play, Howard. Howard has the first down and then some. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
On first, they go right back to Howard. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Howard. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll try to run for it with Howard. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
4 down, 4 down. Alert.
Detroit! Detroit!
They toss left to Howard, and he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Jordan Howard unable to get to that imaginary yellow line. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
4 down, 4 down. 319. 319.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Tight left. Even. 4 down. Even.
26. Gun. Zoom.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And the Seahawks on third down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Green 18. Wide left. Hey, Mike. Hey, check Mike 33. Check Mike 33.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Dancing to his left. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. This is taken around the 12. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows a coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll look to throw. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Gerald McCoy able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. And now defensively they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 14.
Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. All right, now look at 56.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line. So this one fairly well in the bag as they take over with a 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. He'll get it up the middle. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Four down.
319. That's fine, yeah.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky, but that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up. This should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
They go play action here on first down. And he hits his target, Deshaun Hamilton. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Robert Alford. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
Good starting field position for them as they come up first and 10.
319.
On the carry, this is Scott. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
319.
Rip right.
Zoom.
Check Mike 99, Mike 99.
On the ground, this is Kamara. Kamara's got the first down and then some. And finally, down at the 36-yard line. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
Tight end right.
319.
Got 4 down.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room, and then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Seahawks, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, it's a loss that could have implications on the playoff race as they fall to 9-4. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Nashville. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.